In this video, we're going to look at using the DirBuster tool to perform web application penetration testing. DirBuster is a command line tool and is used for performing brute force attacks on URLs, directories, files, and DNS subdomains. So we can use DirBuster and these brute force capabilities to enumerate web directories and files on web servers, enumerate subdomains of a domain, detect virtual hosts that are configured on a server, and more. DirBuster can be installed on a variety of different platforms like Linux and Windows, and in this case, we're going to be running it on a pre-built Docker container. So to get started, open up a Windows PowerShell terminal or a terminal on your platform, and you'll need to have Docker installed and running, and then use the command docker pull ghcr.io/oj/gobuster:\latest. And this will download a pre-built Docker image of the latest DirBuster version. Now that we have the Docker image installed, we're going to have to do some setup to get ready to run DirBuster. In another PowerShell window, I've served up a local server on my local host on port 8080, and this is what we're going to try to enumerate to see what kind of information we can get out of this server. Before DirBuster can perform brute forcing of this server, however, we need to create a word list for it to use in its brute force attack. There are many pre-made word lists out there that we could use, but in this case, we're going to create our own simple word list for testing. So I'm going to use this command in PowerShell to create a wordlist.txt for DirBuster, and it's going to contain the words admin, hidden, secret, login, and test. Now wordlist.txt has been created, we can try running the tool against my server. To do that, I'm going to use the command docker run --rm, and then the path to the image, which is ghcr.io/oj/gobuster:\latest, and this will run the DirBuster tool. So we can start with -h to see how the tool is run. And we can see that the output gives us a help output at the top telling us a usage. And then we have the commands that are available to us under the available command section. And then we have all of the different flags that we could pass to the command. Let's start by using the dir command, which under the available command section we can see says uses directory/file enumeration mode. So let's start building that command now. To start, we're going to return to that same base command that we used, which was docker run --rm and the path to the Docker image, but we're going to modify this a little bit to put a -v in front of the path to the image, followed by the path to the folder with our word list, which is c/demo/gobuster, and we're following it up with :/mount. This is because by default, Docker containers are isolated from the host system. So in order to access the word list that we've created, we need to tell Docker to mount the local file system at that path in order to access that file. Once we've done that, we can add on to the end of the command dir, followed by the -u flag to point to the URL we want to enumerate, which in this case is going to be running on my local host at port 8080, but again, because we're using a Docker container, I'm going to actually need to use a specific IPv4 address to my local machine in order for Docker to access that. Next, we're going to pass the -w flag, which we use to tell DirBuster to use a word list at a specific location, in this case /mnt/wordlist.txt. And then we hit enter. And DirBuster gives us an output of the results of its enumeration from the brute force attack. We can see a summary of the parameters that were used to run the attack, such as the URL, the HTTP method, the number of threads used, the word list used, any negative status codes, the user agent, and timeout configuration. Then we can see that DirBuster started DirBuster in directory enumeration mode because we passed the dir command to it, and it found /hidden directory and a /secret directory. So we've successfully done our first directory enumeration. Let's try to start refining it a little bit more. If I run the same command, but I pass -v at the end of the command, I can get a more verbose output with a little bit more information. And in this output, I see not only the directories that were found, like /admin, /hidden, and /secret, I also see which ones were missed. So this gives me a little bit more information about what was checked entirely and not just what was found. The next thing that we notice is that GoBuster is only enumerating the directories or files at the root level of the web server. This is because GoBuster doesn't automatically search inside of any directories that it finds. However, we can start to go inside of those directories manually by once again going back to our command. And now we're going to modify the -u value because we know definitively that certain folders exist. So if we tag on to the end of the URL one of the found folders, such as /secret, we can see that the output is different because now we're scanning inside the /secret folder instead of the root folder. And in this case, all of our word lists have missed. So we know there are no folders inside the secret folder with any of the word list names that we have given. But this doesn't mean that the secret folder is empty. We could also try looking for specific files by passing a -x flag and then giving common file extensions like .html, .php, and .txt, and rerunning our command. And if we look at the output, for the majority of our words, they've missed, but we can see that for each word in our word list, GoBuster has appended the file extensions that we gave to search for those files inside of the secret folder. And we found a /password.txt file. So this is how we can use GoBuster to enumerate files and folders on a web application. This can be very useful during penetration testing when trying to gather information or find secret data that may have inadvertently been exposed.